All right, friends, let's crack into it. Welcome back to PrepperNow. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me here. It's been a pretty rollicking one, as always. We're going to be talking about TikTok and this bill and everything and the implications and all that. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like it. I've heard many different things. So let me state where I am with the app of TikTok. I'm not on it. But let me understand and state for the act of the ability to get on there. So TikTok is something. There's a guy by the name of PrepperNow on there. He's not me, and I don't know if he's still posting, but I don't think he's trying to. I don't know if he's using my name because he figured out I had like a little bit of a YouTube channel or whatever. But neither here nor there. I'm not on there, and the reason why I don't allow my kids on there. And I don't allow myself on there because it is a tool of the Chinese government to extract information. Okay, that's just a simple fact. The company ByteDance is from China, and if you know anything about their government is all up in on what these businesses do. And so, if it's the company ByteDance, it's the government of China that's looking at your stuff. I don't like that. I don't use it. I don't want it. So I've never used TikTok, and I don't have any plans to do it. I don't watch it. Um, I'm a guy on YouTube. So that's my stance as a personal creator, influencer, content guy, whatever the heck you want to call me. I'm just some dude who's you know, teaches World War for a living and sees a lot of problems for our country and wants to talk to people about it. That's basically it. I want to try to get conversations going because it will implicate my children. So I love my children, and for that, I need to come here and at least get a conversation started because a lot of people are pissing and moaning out there online and in chat rooms, and sometimes you have to just pick up the mic and do it, and my daytime gig, literally go out into the society and try and change some kids' minds to make them understand the big picture that what's going on all around them is a problem. There's a lot of problematic stuff. TikTok, one of them. Short attention spans, one of them. I tell my students all the time they're the most over entertained generation on the planet, or ever. There's literally nothing but entertainment out there. You can just sit there all day long and entertain yourself. Watch video after video after video, or game after game after game. Whether it's video games or whatever. So I think that's a problem. I think it's they did a study on our attention spans. I've referenced this before. And about 20 years ago, our attention spans 20 years ago, roughly, could go about 3 minutes, about 2 minutes and 45 seconds, I think it was. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I think it was 2012 when they did it again, 2010, somewhere in there, we were down to about a minute and 15 seconds. Okay, so we halved it roughly. Now, attention spans of human beings, specifically young students, kids, are at about 45 seconds. I think it's 41 or 49. I can't remember. So we'll say 45 seconds. Think about that. 45 seconds is the ability of the average human being to sit there and look at stuff and contemplate it and ingest it, whatever, consume it, read it, write it, watch it. So I don't like the form of TikTok. I think it really, I always thought it was bad with commercials with our kids and the way the commercials would come on and be flash, flash, flash. Same thing with television shows and video games, and we don't really promote that stuff. My kids will play Roblox, of course, but like this last month, we started on the 1st, and we took away everything with the exception of like a nightly movie. And they can only watch that, and the movie's got to have a plot. It's got to have actors. It can't be people screaming into a YouTube video as they're playing Roblox, which a lot of kids do these days. So that's the backstory right there. Those are my feelings and thoughts just on entertainment as it is. As it pertains to TikTok and this bill, it's wrong. We should not have our government telling us and dictating to us what it is we can and cannot see. If there's, I know that there's where they're coming from is that, oh, this is owned by the Chinese government, and they could do a lot of harmful things with this. Well, I mean, you could make the same uh, implications about other governments and their home apps and websites and stuff like that. You really could. Not that I'm thinking of any large video hosting sites or anything like that right now. So there's a bit of irony to all of this. Um, the government should not have any kind of say into what the abilities, or what the what our what we are allowed to see, and all of that. I think it sets a really poor precedent for what's to come. And I've seen, why they're doing this. They're saying, well, they have to divest. They've got 6 months, and I'll get into all this. Um, I've heard Rumble has decided that, they want to come in and make an offer. I don't think it'll happen because, the people in charge of the government are going to say, no, this is going to be controlled by certain alphabet agencies. Not that other video and content creator places are owned by alphabet agencies. No, that would never happen. So the Chinese government is in on this and all that, and they're trying to make it as the reason why. I think we all know that. I think we know, and have known for quite some time. I've known for many years. I'm sure many of you have. There's a lot of harmful things about TikTok, but at the same time, I don't think we should be regulating it. I think that if you're um, stupid, you'll go and you'll sit there and watch endless amounts of TikTok. That I don't. Same thing with anything. You could be movies. You could be 1980s movies. Maybe you get addicted to Turner Classic Movies, and you just want to sit there and watch all the classics because you want to turn off for a while. My wife does it. She likes to watch really crappy television. She's watching some stupid show now called The Girlfriend Experience. I don't like it. I don't like to watch it. So, and by the way, it's her 40th birthday. So, happy birthday, Mrs. PrepperNow. That's why we're getting late today. And today was a busy one, and I haven't done a lot of stuff on the subscription services and everything else. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So that, I think, is a setup for where we're at. Okay. So the House passed the TikTok divestment bill 352 to 65 to 1. 15 Republicans who voted against it, 50 Democrats. Okay. So it's got to go to the Senate. Doesn't mean it's going to pass. Doesn't mean it's not going to pass. Just I'd say it's trending towards passing. It's got support of Senate Intel Chair Marco Rubio, and they say that they're encouraged by the bipartisan support, and they look together. They look forward to working together. I think this sets a bad precedent. I think that we're heading towards a time when our government really is trying to get together with these corporations and do what Mussolini called was fascism. It's funny, if you look up fascism and you Google it, it doesn't mention corporations, which is a huge chunk of what fascism is. Mussolini basically said that what they should call it is corporatism. And so, it's basically the authoritarian state and the money and industry makers of corporations coming together to basically subjugate and become authoritarian to you. So if they get rid of TikTok, what other ones are they going to get rid of? Are we only allowed to see American versions of apps? Are we only allowed to see, There's other things like pornography. Okay, I think that's wrong. It's for many different levels. Is a father of two little girls, but there are people out there that want you to have to upload your identification and all of that to do to view pornography. I have honestly a problem with putting your information in any of that. First of all, it's easy to fake. Second of all, it's not going to stop anything. And third of all, if you've noticed, and I've noticed this, and this is kind of another conversation. Have you noticed on the ads on especially this platform how they've become a lot more sexualized in the last year? If you notice that, hit a 1, okay? If you think you're still getting the normal old, backpacking and for patriot stuff and yada yada yada, or Trump told me not to tell anyone and that kind of thing. If you're still getting that kind of stuff, then hit a number 2. But if you're seeing the kind of content I am, where they're describing man parts and about how to get people up and yada yada. Uh, I'll let you use your imagination. How to make for a robust love life, if you will. I've noticed a lot of those videos, and I'm not. I don't know. Actress Rose says both. It's mixed. Okay. Um, I don't know why, but like, and it's funny because I turn it off. It's a turn off. Like I don't want something being described as veiny to me is disgusting. So they usually have some, beautiful young lady that's sitting there saying how her man can go all night and all that. Like I don't want to see that, but at the same time, well, it's that's what's going to come from all this. It's going to spur off, other different things that go different ways. Everything has an unintended consequence. And I know these people are just trying to sell product and all that, and it's not some scantily clad lady. I mean, you could look at a beer commercial from the 1980s and 90s where all the women are done up and they're being hosed down with water and yada yada, all the old cliches. But freedom goes a lot of different ways. And when our betters are telling us what we can and can't see, and they're 86ing this app, what's next? I mean, maybe they're going to say that Rumble is a hotbed of right-wing extremism, and we can't have it. We need to get rid of it. So what happens then? Say all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of implications, and when you're watching this and you're seeing an intervention, it really does look more authoritarian than anything else. Another example: China, not too long ago, basically said that they don't want young students to be on video games, and there's now like a limit to all this stuff. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but still, I mean, I'm a parent. Our kids will look at stupid stuff, but we parent. We take the screens away. We have bedtime. We have time to bathe, and it's time to do this and go outside and whatever. So I don't know. I think we're just moving towards a place where the government is becoming the nanny and really trying to become the parent, and it's too much. It shouldn't be in that position. So this is Thomas Massey of Kentucky. Um, just have a listen.
The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized. Mr. Speaker, I know the sponsors of this bill are sincere in their concerns and in their effort to protect Americans. They've described the TikTok application as a Trojan horse, but there's some of us who feel that either intentionally or unintentionally, this legislation to ban TikTok is actually a Trojan horse. Some of us are concerned that there are First Amendment implications here. Americans have the right to view information. We don't need to be protected by the government from information. Some of us just don't want the president picking which apps we can put on our phones or which websites that we can visit. We don't think that's appropriate. We also think it's dangerous to give the president that kind of power, to give him the power to decide what Americans can see on their phones and their computers. To give him that sort of discretion, we also think is dangerous. Now, people say that this TikTok ban will only apply to TikTok or maybe another company that pops up just like TikTok. But the bill is written so broadly that the president could abuse that discretion and include other companies that aren't just social media companies and that aren't, as some people would believe, controlled by foreign adversaries. Again, we're giving the president that discretion to decide whether it is controlled by a foreign adversary.
All right, there we are. Yeah, we'll call it borged, whatever. I think you get the point of what Mr. Massey is saying. And basically what he's saying is what I'm saying. Where does it stop? Uh it won't. They'll like I said, it's TikTok today and it is Rumble tomorrow, and it's whatever the day after that. It's forpatriots.com because Four Patriots is selling to militiamen and they're gonna come and try to January 6th everybody and all that. It just, where does it stop? I'm not a fan of TikTok by any stretch of the imagination, but I can tell you this: it will not stop with TikTok. It'll keep going. So, yeah, it is. Exactly, Stephen. It's coming, man. I'm too damn busy right now. I can't. I can't switch things yet. I'm almost there, but like after this weekend, it's coming. It's there's so much going on every week, every weekend. I've got something. So, but after this weekend, it chills out. Anyway, I think you get the point. Please be careful with all this. With the what you want to have suppressed and whatnot. All of it really is uh, could lead to other things. It could lead to all kinds of different things. And like he said, it gives a broad power to the government. You never want to give broad powers to the government under any circumstances. You know, I mean, people have a problem with the Patriot Act. What did it do? It gave them broad powers. Whenever you have broad powers of government, they're going to take it and they're going to do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. They're going to use it to their advantage. You know, so um, I just all I can say is careful what you wish for. If you're happy about this TikTok ban, you haven't read the bill and you don't know what's in it and you don't know where it can lead. And for that, it is yeah, it's a total trap for other platforms later. As G62 data says, both Rumble and BitChute are based outside the US as well. Exactly. Rumble's a Canadian company. BitChute, I believe, is either British or New Zealand. Doesn't matter. They're not American. What happens to that? That was an excellent example. BitChute and Rumble are both non-American companies. If it happens to TikTok, why couldn't it happen to them as well? So I don't know. I think this is going to become a problem, and it's setting a poor precedent. And it's just a matter of time before all these other implications are going to come out of this whole thing. It's not going to lead to a good place. You don't want to give the government all the power like this. There shouldn't be a government, internet kill switch. I don't know. I believe that if anything, you spread it all out. You make it so there's more. All kinds of people have the ability to see it, do it, and be free. Um, this is gonna become something bad. So, uh, yeah, yeah. There's only 100 million TikTok users anyway. Exactly. That's a good point as well. And I mean, do you really think they're not going to find a way around this? There's always going to be ways around it. I can tell you that by being an educator. They go in and they ban all kinds of stuff from students, and sure enough, by morning time they'll ban something, and by noon, by lunchtime, they've already got something else up on another website, and everybody knows about it. So it's not going to stop anything. All it's going to do is stop you and I. All it's going to do is set it up so Rumble and BitChute and SubscribeStar, I know, is out of New Zealand. So there's another, oh, look at their stuff. I don't know where other websites are, but I know SubscribeStar is pretty liberty based. I know that because I've been on it for 4 years with a good amount of subscribers that get to come and hang out with me and see what I'm posting. And what's cool about it is that I'm able to post things that you can't post other places. I couldn't put it in the community section here. I wouldn't be here. So Pink Floyd was way ahead of things. It's why they're one of my favorite bands. So um all I can say is this is not good. So careful what you wish for, friends. Careful, and good on Mr. Thomas Massey. I know he's a bit of a firebrand and all that, but this is the time that we need these kind of people. This is the time that we need firebrand kind of people that are out there and you know telling it like it is. So I don't know. Do you use TikTok? How many people use TikTok? Like Watchman said, there's 100 million people. I mean, I use YouTube. I like YouTube for the most part, especially as a viewer. And so, how many people out there use TikTok? If you're using it, put a 1 in. If you don't care for it, put a 2 in. We'll see where we're going with all this. Pink Floyd Animals is the best album out there. It's literally the kind of uh, album you put, you know, wow, most people don't use it. Okay, yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't use it. So, yeah, Pink Floyd Animals is awesome. I'll talk Pink Floyd any day of the week. I remember in high school I would read books on them. Anyway, okay, yeah. So most of maybe it's just a personal choice. All right, friends, I think we're done here. I take the hint. I was pretty much done anyway. Anyway, wish you were here. That's funny. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming, and I think you got the point. Borg, the point is taken. We'll see you tomorrow.